Vedas, Upanishads, Smriti, Puranas, Itihasas, and the list goes on and on. It would not be an exaggeration to say that Bharat has the longest and the richest heritage of the ancient scriptures, which covers different facets of life. And of all, Bhagavad Gita stands as an epitome of all ancient scriptures of Bharat, and rightfully so, as it elucidates the human life from physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual dimensions in a very simplistic manner. And people have their own interpretations of Bhagavad Gita more from a devotional perspective or a philosophical perspective. But I chose to take a different approach, a literal interpretation, going by the letter and the spirit. What is the bottom line of Bhagavad Gita? This is my perspective, which I would like to present to you. Let's get to the topic. As we are having many viewers from outside India watching our channel, and for their benefit, here is a quick overview of Mahabharatam. With 18 chapters and thousands of verses, Mahabharatam is one of the most well-preserved historical document about ancient India. And not just that, for India, the Vedas are the corpus knowledge system since times immemorial, and there are 4 of them: Rigvedam, Samavedam, Atharvana Vedam, and Yajurvedam. And Mahabharatam is revered as the 5th Veda or Panchama Vedam, and this is the only epic which has that level of reverence in Bharat. And with 700 verses or slokas, Bhagavad Gita is an integral part of Mahabharatam. It's a very crucial conversation that happens between Bhagavan Sri Krishna and Arjuna just before the great battle of Kurukshetra. And with 18 chapters, Bhagavad Gita explains about a lot of things on physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual facets of human life. But if one has to really summarize the very first stepping stone in this journey, what's the essence of the entire Bhagavad Gita, highly condensed and to the point? Here it is. After the grief-stricken Arjuna expresses his unwillingness to fight in Kurukshetra, the very first words of Bhagavan Sri Krishna are as follows: Asocyananvasochastvam pragyam vadamscha bhashase gatasu nagatasumscha nanusochanti panditaha. And here is the translation. Do not worry. You are worrying for something that's not worth worrying for. Never worry about your people, alive or dead. And if we really focus only on the very first word said by Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he says, in fact, he starts saying Asotya, which means do not worry. Just hold this word, Asotya. And right from there, the second chapter of Samkhya Yoga, Bhagavan Sri Krishna starts narrating the entire Bhagavad Gita for 17 continuous chapters. And in the last 18th chapter, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, the very last words of Sri Krishna before he ends Bhagavad Gita are as follows: Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarvapapebhyo mokshasyami masuchah. And the translation is: relinquish all the righteousness, the dharma, and surrender completely into me, and I will deliver you from all your sinful reactions. Do not worry. Again, observe the last word said by Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Ma Suchaha, which means do not worry. Now, if we take the very first word spoken by Bhagavan Sri Krishna when he starts Bhagavad Gita is Asocya, and he ends Bhagavad Gita saying Ma Suchaha. Both are one and the same. It says, do not worry. The rest, all 17 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, comes secondary. The very first and most important lesson taught by Bhagavan Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is do not worry. Whether you're happy or not is secondary. But the first and very important thing is do not worry for whatever the reason that you are currently worrying for. And that's a lot easier said than done. And as I'm recording this, I have 1,000 things that I am worrying about. And not worrying about anything in life is unimaginably difficult task. But yes, this is the very first lesson that Bhagavan Sri Krishna teaches in Bhagavad Gita. Because once we start worrying about something, that essentially pulls down all our abilities, all our fighting abilities in that situation to survive. And that happens to be a very simplistic and very powerful lesson at the same time. And by extension, if we summarize the remaining 17 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, this is what it boils down to. Do your duty and stay indifferent to pain and pleasure in life. So the bottom line of Bhagavad Gita is do not worry, do your duty and stay indifferent to pain and pleasure in life. This is my interpretation, a literal interpretation of what's written in Bhagavad Gita. And that's a very powerful life lesson from Bhagavad Gita. And this is the reason why we revere and worship Bhagavan Sri Krishna as Krishnam Vande Jagadguru, which means Krishna, the teacher of this universe. And wishing you all a very happy Janmashtami. And as always, thanks for watching.